If only James Harden understood the appropriate way to trash Ricky Rubio's ego and ankles, he would be unstoppable. Oh, make no mistake about it, there was a significant amount of damage done. During the Houston Rockets' romp over the Utah Jazz in the Game 2, Harden crossed Rubio off the screen and then took his time getting a shot off for a maximum effect. The play helped the Rockets pull away from the Jazz. He looked at the basket, shrugged his shoulder, and he may or may not have gone to get some Trolli sour Brite weird beards from the vending machine. However, rules are still rules. Only by successfully finishing the play can one hope to humiliate their opponent to their fullest potential. To create a list of the association's most monumental displays of the contempt, all that's required is a commitment of time. Even luckier for me, I don't have any friends or social life. Number 14. Tar Heel Murders Hoya, 1991. Michael Jordan is no stranger to finishes that leave nothing on the table. It was just another day at the office for me when I shook Charles Oakley and destroyed Patrick Ewing. The statements made by his earnest more than 20 years later are completely unrelated to one another. In 2013, he recalled telling the opponent that Georgetown players don't block shots but rather take charges. I told him, Georgetown guys don't block shots, they take charges. I slammed it on him with such force that it was unfathomable. That's the first thing that I bring up with him whenever we have a conversation. Disrespect has no expiration date. Hence, there is no statute of limitations on it. The above-the-rim stuff that Jordan did was already very rough. But considering what happened in the decades that follow, it's safe to say that this play is the worst kind of unforgivable. Number 13. Rain Man erases Alton Lister, 1992. Chris Mullin deserves praise for moving out of the line of the Shawn Kemp's path. He had no interest in participating in this monstrous mashup. Alton Lister didn't do it either, for that matter. Even before Kemp turned him into a corpse, he was second-guessing his choice to stay in the land rather than flee as quickly as possible. Perhaps he was under the impression that he owed it to the Golden State Warriors to keep fighting, since they saw him as a countermeasure to Rain Man. Kemp made the most of this opportunity. He didn't only cradle the ball and capture a body, as some other players do. He completed a full parallel squat while pointing with his spirit finger in the direction of the fallen Lister. It's important to respect the disrespect. Number 12. Unreal Catch Block, 1994. Written by Lafunso Ellis. Even though catch blocks have happened before, this might be the most disrespectful shooting contest in the history of the league. It's offensive how effortlessly Lafunso Ellis can set up a full throttle highlight. His dismissive attitude is equally as inconsiderate as before. It's said that this play received additional points because Alice was known as the Fonz. This is a claim that neither I will confirm nor refute. Number 11. The year is 1994, and Scotty has no idea who Patrick Ewing is. The one-handed yam that Scotty piped mad over and through Patrick Ewing was already a vicious move on its own. It's a very disgraceful to move the 7-1 skyscraper while it's still in the fight. To this day, hovering over him after the fact as if he were some faceless 11th man comes dangerously close to being illegal. Having said that, we are ready for it. Number 10. MJ claims Mount Mutombo, 1997. Dikembe Mutombo insisted MJ had never dunked on him. He asked, "Do you want me to call Scotty?" and waited for an answer. It makes no difference whether Mutombo was exaggerating or not. A few minutes later, Jordan apprehended him as he was carrying the boomstick, and then took his finger wag. The act of stealing another player's signature taunt is devilish on an entirely new level. Number 9. Stevie franchise turns on the lights the year 2000 Troy Hudson. There is evidence that someone is smoking someone else off the dribble. There's also the practice of utilizing a genuine, living, feeling human being as a toy for one's amusement. Then there's whatever in the world Steve Francis did to the Troy Hudson for whatever reason. Count the number of opportunities that Francis had to put an end to the Hudson suffering. You will get 3 or 4 and possibly even 5 if you count the beat that Stevie franchise takes no pause, his evisceration and talk to the referee. You will get 3 or 4. Number 8. Iverson Steps Over Lou, 2001 is a basketball movie. The infamous step forward that Allen Iverson did is remembered as being more aggressive than it was. He had a valid argument that Tyronn Lue was blocking his path. Iverson, on the other hand, could go around him. Instead, he made a point of stepping over him, acting as if he wasn't 6 feet tall and slender in build. If this play were to take place in December rather than during the NBA Finals, its iconic status would be diminished. Whatever, Iverson gave us the blueprint for what would become one of the most enduring memes in the internet history. Number 7. Old MJ destroys a youth in a film released in 2002. Try to see yourself as a 25-year-old NBA player. You have been drafted to play for the Chicago Bulls. You are making 7 figures with this endeavor. You should have the better part of your career still ahead of you. It's a good life. You have been enchanted. And then Michael Jordan, who will be 39 years old soon, did your transition layup on the backboard when I was your age back in my day. A rough start for the 2001 to 2002 season. This is Ron Mercer. Number 6. CP3 YAMS on D12 was released in 2006. Chris Paul tends to slowly burn bigs off the dribble, but this is a different kind of snarky from what he usually does. He was delayed pulling up by a good 2 hours. He didn't even bother to attempt to make a layup. He went in for the kill, and even though the eventual 3-time Defensive Player of the Year was over a foot taller than him, he was successful. Young CP3 did not exhibit any pity, much like prime CP3, as well as present-day CP3 and most certainly the CP3 of the future. Number 5. Day Wade ends Virgil. Before formally joining forces with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade amicably ended his relationship with one of his favorite teammates. It's probably one of the reasons why LeBron James' heel turned his way out of the Miami in 2014. And his decision to step over the Anderson Varejao nonchalantly as an overlooked example of the middle finger. Number 4. Black Christians Timo, 2010. Black Griffin was completely within his rights to perform a spectacular slam dunk while airborne over the Timofey Mozgov, using Timo's face as an armrest, then trading him for the Carmelo Anthony with the Thunder Smack. That was a bit beyond the Call of Duty. Number 3. LeBron James has leapfrogged about Lucas, 2012. The most flagrant and heartless display of disregard for human beings is to hop over them. John Lucas III has every right to be furious at the LeBron for jumping over his 5'11" frame like it was hurdle and then glaring at him as if to scream, "Doesn't this thing go any higher?" Number 2. Black Ants Paul, 2012. After posterizing Paul Gasol on 2 separate occasions in 2012, Black did little more than look at him. However, it seems that he has frozen him in time forever, not once but twice. Griffin finished his second throwdown with such force that Paul Gasol, who is 7 feet tall and weighs 250 pounds, was sent flying across the court, and in the process, DeAndre Jordan's left leg came dangerously close to becoming detached from the rest of his body. Watch the expression on the Andrew Bynum's face when jam number 2 comes to a close. It explains everything completely. Number 1. Feeling frustrated and unwilling to apologize. The fact that that's Amari, 2012. It was able to ball over Sean Battier is not a terrible farce. Faking an offer to assist him while simultaneously pulling away is not acceptable behavior either. Amare Stavdemar is deserving of this honor because of his ability to excel in both areas. Putting Battier to the ground in 9 positions should have been plenty. There is no indication that the Stavdemar was objecting to a whistle that he considered to be unfair. He didn't contest the decision in any way. He turned it on with an attitude of resignation written all over his face. And after that, he fooled Battier. State's elementary school bluff continues to leave them unable to decide whether I'm more impressed by it or more bewildered by it. How was the video? Did you enjoy it? Post your feedback in our comment section below and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates.